You're listening to this week's episode of the Vacation Rental Business in Today's World podcast. You're about to start transforming your business and life with the information found here. We interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in the vacation short-term rental industry and supporting businesses. The information found here is a combination of brain science, transformational thinking, safety and loss prevention, and vacation short-term rental knowledge and experiences, all rolled into one to help you and your business to achieve levels you never thought possible. I am glad you are here, and now please welcome your host, Eric Thibodeau.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's Vacation Rental Business in Today's World podcast. It's Thanksgiving week, and I hope you are planning to and are having a good Thanksgiving, and I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about giving and receiving. But before I do that, I'd like to talk about one of my programs. So Safer VRs is having its first ever launch here with the 9 life-saving rules for vacation rentals. It's going to be coming out this week on Friday as we get into Black Friday and then Cyber Monday. So I would appreciate if you would go to www.safervrs.com and take a look at this offering that's going to be out there. It's something a little different in how we talk about some of these life-saving rules in vacation rental safety. In all things that I talk about here in the podcast, certainly there's these 3 areas that I try to focus on. And the first one is something different and really is something that's not really out there. So I'm bringing it to you. It's called transformational thinking. And it's how our thinking and our thoughts affect our decisions, which then cause us to have a certain action that we take or don't take and then produce results. So I call it transformational thinking, which I cover in each of my shows, and also in the 9 life-saving rules, I cover this kind of as an entry in each of the modules. Next is I talk about vacation rental business and investing, which is what we do as the heart of vacation rental. We operate businesses and we invest in our businesses and we invest in real estate to have these businesses. And then the third piece is about safety and loss prevention, which I talk about quite a bit because I'm a huge believer in this, and it's something that the industry needs in the vacation short-term rental industry. I combine all of these in Safer VRs. It provides a unique offering, a unique perspective for our vacation rental, short-term rental owners, investors, property managers, and everyone in the industry. And so that's kind of the perspective that I look at going forward, and certainly cover it in the 9 life-saving rules for vacation rentals that will be coming out this Friday on Black Friday, after you've had a little bit of turkey and whatever with the family, some football. Friday, don't need to rush out to the stores. Go take a look at that offering and see if this will add value to your business, and I would appreciate it. Take a look at it. Let me know if you have any questions. www.safervrs.com. Join the waiting list. So today we're talking about giving and receiving. And I think it's an appropriate topic for Thanksgiving week, right? We're celebrating Thanksgiving, the keyword giving. We're celebrating thankfulness, gratitude in the U.S., and our friends in Canada celebrated in October. And this is really something, that's unique in our culture. And I thought it'd be good to talk a little bit more about that this week. Certainly we'll be engaged in these activities, but I want to focus on this giving and receiving. So giving and receiving is this continuous loop. If you think about it, right? I'm giving, you're receiving, and then later I'm receiving. That's something that you've given. And so basically it's really a circle, that giving and receiving. And giving is something that we do quite often. I find in our industry and in general, we are a giving society. However, sometimes we struggle with receiving. And I'd like to share this story with you. So back in the mid 90s, I was working as a safety engineer, decided I wanted to get my master's degree at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And when I did that, it was a master's of public health with a focus on occupational and environmental health and safety. So I can remember my first week at the university, and most of the classes were on the weekend. And here there's doctors, there's nurses, there's dietitians, there's people in industry, mostly in the medical field, were there. And we were all taking basic courses, if you will. And that semester, we took statistics, biostatistics. We took intro to epidemiology, and we took basically introduction to public health. And so there was a lot of discussions around statistics, and I had no problems in dealing with the occupational safety pieces and the statistics. However, there were a lot of nurses in the program, and they were struggling. So basically, we would get together and study, and I worked with them to we passed biostatistics, right? We made A's. And so I had no problems giving help and support. This is what I like doing. And so no problems. And then 2 years later, as I'm getting ready to graduate, to accelerate my graduation time, I had to take a core course in hospital administration. And so, like many of us, maybe we've been in a hospital at some time or another. However, I'd never really or didn't really want to learn a lot about hospital administration. Or if I took the course, I would graduate probably a year earlier instead of waiting for another course. So my friends in nursing came up to me and said, "Hey, we took this course last year. This is what we do. We run hospitals. We run, different divisions. We want to help you with that course." And with their help, and of course, some good studying, I made an A in hospital administration. So I was able to receive, and they were giving. Never did I think when I gave that I would be receiving back. However, that's really how it goes. When we give and we give, we get back and receive. Now, I could have said, "Hey, I don't really want to receive this. I'm going to do it myself," right? Which is something we struggle with from time to time, right? So you put out there, you're giving, and here comes back receiving. And at times we do not receive well. So this is an area to take a look at, is how well am I giving? And then how am I receiving later, right? And most of the time, I believe we give without the expectation of receiving back. And that's really how it should be. However, in the world, in the universe, basically, giving and receiving are circular. And we need to do both freely. So if I gave you $10,000, how would you feel? So some people would say, "Well, I can't really accept that," or "I don't need that." And some people would say, "Yes, I take that," right? And we don't know why I'm giving, and we don't know why this other person says yes or this other person says no, right? Because we're all individuals. However, we look at this and say, how well do we receive in our life and our businesses? How well are we receiving, right? This is something I'd like you to ponder on this week as we celebrate Thanksgiving. Is how are we doing with giving and receiving, particularly receiving? When we give and receive, we may celebrate, right? And maybe we don't celebrate enough. It's one of the things I've been working on this year, is to celebrate those wins in my life, right? What we normally do is we just go through and say, "Hey, yep, I achieved this goal. I finished this project. I landed this contract. We met our production targets, our income goals," and we just go on to the next one, right? Our brain really likes when we stop and celebrate. It basically says, hey, it creates this memory. There's this thought that then turns into this emotion, and it gets stored in our subconscious. And it says, hey, I remember when I did that, and this is what happened, right? I gave and I received. I did the job and I received a celebration. Even if you celebrate yourself, not with your team, if you don't have a team, but I'd like you to consider celebrating more as we go through Thanksgiving. It's part of gratitude, part of Thanksgiving. We're thankful and that we've received, that we've celebrated what we've received. And I'd like to hear how that's working in your business and in your life. So please, if you would, take a moment or several moments and think about this. And I'd appreciate to hear from you in my Facebook group. Join us at Vacation Rental Safety in the Facebook group. Join our group where we chat about different things. And I'd like to hear how this transformational thinking moment is working for you and how it's going to impact your business. It may not do it today or it may not do it tomorrow, right? But it'll change in its time. And I would like you to focus on that and see or request you to focus on that. So I appreciate your time today. Enjoy the holiday. Please go and join my Facebook group. I would appreciate it. Rate us. We're moving into Apple Podcast here this week. And I'd appreciate it if you give me a good rating and hopefully move up so I can help and serve more people with safer VRs and using the Vacation Rental Business in Today's World podcast. Have a great day. I thank you for being here, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Safer VR's podcast with Eric Thibodeau. If you enjoy this, I would love you to join my Facebook group, The Safer Vacation Rentals, for more of the same. You can also join our email list at www.safervrs.com.